Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Government on 18 March 2010 had approved a government guarantee of Fijian $120 million to Fiji Sugar Corporation. This guarantee was later renewed for 3 years in Cabinet meeting of 3 July 2012, which now expires on 31 May 2015, which is this month. FSC sought government's assistance to extend this guarantee to 31 May 2020. The extension is being sought to renew the ANZ pre-export facility. This is a testimony to the renewed confidence that international commercial banks such as ANZ have in FSC's reform program. FSC's strategy has been to manage itself with short and medium-term borrowings and the ANZ pre-export facility without government's direct fund injection. Major capital investments, other than the normal sugar manufacturing capital costs, shall be funded independent of this guarantee. As part of FSC's strategy to be self-sufficient and to manage its future cash flows without government direct funding, in other words directly from budget support, and reduce reliance on just raw sugar exports, the industry is embarking on diversifying into other products such as electricity, ethanol, refined and specialized sugars to better manage the revenue and cash flow risks. In fact, the FSC should have embarked on this diversification program probably decades ago. We should have had a sugar refinery company decades ago. This merely depicts the lack of foresight and goodwill of the past governments. Previous governments, Madam Speaker, solely relied on the premium receipts of raw sugar because we received subsidies. Hence, the drop in sugar prices, world sugar prices, is having a detrimental impact on FSC's revenue base. More broadly, diversifying the revenue base would position FSC to offer better prices to farmers. The justification for the guarantee, Madam Speaker, is that by giving the government guarantee, ANZ will offer the pre-export facility for another 3 years. The extension of this government guarantee is critical to meet FSC's day-to-day operations, swift payment of cane proceeds to farmers, assist in sugar-related capital upgrade works, and refinancing of maturing debts. While a significant improvement was noted in FSC's mill efficiency, it recorded a 33% reduction in the sugar export price for the 2014 crop compared to the previous season. This was the result of the current world market price for sugar at around US 15 cents a pound. This has created significant cash flow issue for FSC and requires funding for cash shortfalls. The converging of the price offered by the EU, which we have been receiving through the Cotonou Agreement, to the world market prices poses a significant challenge to FSC. Against this backdrop, FSC paid a record price of $88.49 per tonne for the 2013 crop. FSC was able to achieve break-even cash flow from operations in the last financial year with a better export price. However, earnings from future operations will not be sufficient to cover all cash flow outflows until 2018. In the meantime, of course, the diversification will quickly take place through the assistance of this funding. This is mainly attributed to the expected reduction in the export price for sugar from the 2014 season and thereafter. This, of course, is reflected in the projected cash flow. The guarantee will provide leverage to FSC to borrow in case of any intermittent cash flows without dependence on government for funding. As at 31 March 2015, domestic borrowing secured by government guarantee is Fijian $29.75 million. The balance of Fijian $90.25 million will be used to renew the ANZ pre-export facility and for any other urgent financing needs. The sugar industry, Madam Speaker, is important to Fiji's economy, as it now contributes, it's dropped significantly, 1.7% of GDP, generates about 8% of total export with a total foreign earnings of $159.6 million, based on the provisional data from RBF. Unlike many other export-oriented industries, most production inputs are domestic and have a high regional impact and cross-sectorial linkages. It also has a very high level of employment because most of our farms aren't mechanized. FSC recorded positive earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, or EBITDA, of Fijian $5.9 million for the year ended 31 May 2014, against a negative of $1.8 million for the year ending 2013, and is projecting a negative EBITDA of around $2 million for the financial year 2015 after allowing for a 33% reduction in the world sugar export prices. This is a much improved financial position of the company compared to where it was some years back. It is critical that FSC continues to grow its EBITDA through alternative income to just raw sugar. Net profit recorded for the financial year 2014 is Fijian $6.95 million compared to Fijian $6.25 million in 2013 and $1.85 million in 2012. FSC cash flow deficit for financial year 31 May 2015 is estimated at around Fijian $33.8 million, excluding government loan repayment and redemption of the bonds. The current policy, Madam Speaker, of government will provide guarantee in exceptional circumstances and with a guarantee fee. However, because of the importance of the sugarcane industry and the fact that it employs, by some estimates, close to 200,000 Fijians, FSC has been exempted from paying the guarantee fee, which is again sought in this motion, Madam Speaker. Currently, FSC has an existing government guarantee of $50.4 million for a loan from the Exim Bank of India. This guarantee is in relation to the mill upgrade program carried out under the supervision of the Sugar Technology Mission of India prior to 5 December 2006 when the engagement took place, and some of the arrangements were put in place then. Borrowings from government stand at Fijian $173.8 million. Madam Speaker, as a strategy means, what we have done also is that we have asked FSC to provide quarterly reports on the status of the government guarantee utilization, develop more and stronger partnerships with the private sector, and continue to work with the Ministry of Industry and Trade to source alternative markets. Because the reality is, Madam Speaker, the quota system that we have, the preferential pricing that we've had, is now slowly being wound down because of the policies taken by the European Union. And to engage in more public relations exercise with farmers and other related stakeholders about reforms underway to keep the sugarcane industry viable and sustainable. Madam Speaker, the extension of the $120 million guarantee to FSC was approved by Cabinet on 31 March 2015. I have now much pleasure recommending this motion to the floor. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
May I raise a point of order? I move that so much of standing on this 23-1 is suspended so as to allow the House to complete the debate on the current motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Given that we have a long session after lunch, we really would like to complete this motion before lunch, and we will give you enough time to look through the report before lunchtime. Do we have a seconder?
Madam Speaker, I beg to second the motion.
Thank you. Does anyone oppose the motion? No, thank you very much. The motion is on the affirmative. We will now continue with the debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to contribute to the motion. Madam Speaker, I think this is a very serious issue before this Parliament. Yes. This government and the government before the September 14 election has only talked about Fiji Sugar Corporation. They have continued to put money into FSC, concentrated on reforming the Fiji Sugar Corporation, and they forgot about the farmers. They forgot about the farmers, Madam Speaker. And this is why, Madam Speaker, this guarantee by Parliament has to be scrutinized very, very seriously before we can agree to this. Madam Speaker, there are serious questions about the management of Fiji Sugar Corporation. And I've raised that issue in this Parliament, Madam Speaker. This organization is managed by an executive chairman. This government, being the majority shareholder, has not been able to get a full-time CEO and an independent board, Madam Speaker. And these are serious questions about the management of the organization. And let me say this, Madam Speaker. We haven't had annual reports from this organization for 2012, 13 and 14, although we are being promised that they will have the AGM and we will be provided that. But also, Madam Speaker, if we are looking at Fiji Sugar Corporation, we cannot divorce that organization from what is happening in the industry in totality. And it is a shame, Madam Speaker, it is sad that in the last several years, we have not concentrated on how to raise production, how to raise efficiency, how to build confidence of farmers in the industry, Madam Speaker. And let me give you an example, Madam Speaker. Give you an example. We are now at a situation where we will see the end of the EU quota in 2017. The forecast price has seen a reduction to about $73. And the situation for the farmers is grim. And the Prime Minister himself, Madam Speaker, in the meeting in London admitted that. And he talked about how serious the industry is going to be in terms of the struggle after 2017. The average cost of production, Madam Speaker, is about $45. This includes all farm, harvesting and delivery costs. For 2013, Madam Speaker, farmers received less than $89 per ton. And if you remove the cost of production of $45, Madam Speaker, the net income that farmers get from a ton of cane is $44, sorry. 70% of farmers, Madam Speaker, produce an average of about 200 tons of cane. And no doubt, this has fallen to about 150 tons last year. We only have, Madam Speaker, a little over 13,000 cane farmers in this country. A little over 13,000 cane farmers in this country. And if you look at the real active farmers, Madam Speaker, would be less than 13,000. And so, Madam Speaker, when we are looking at the Fiji Sugar Corporation, we ought to look at how the farm level activity is going to support the operations of the Fiji Sugar Corporation. The Attorney General is right when he talks about diversification. They should have done this many years ago. I agree with him entirely. But Madam Speaker, if you are getting into diversification with sugar cane, not just sugar out of sugar cane, but other products, then you got to have farmers who can produce sugar cane. They need to be sugar cane produced. If farmers are not going to produce sugar cane, FSC is not going to be of any help. And this is why, Madam Speaker, FSC's focus should have been and should be in the future to work out strategies to support farm level efficiency and activity. And Madam Speaker, this is why in the previous sessions I've called for government to look at a minimum guarantees price, because we need to build confidence not in FSC. I mean, that is something that we own. And government is planning to take over the minority shares and become 100% share here. But that's not the point, Madam Speaker, in this issue. We need to look at how we can bring back confidence of the sugarcane farmers in this country. And before, Madam Speaker, we look at this guarantee for the Fiji Sugar Corporation, this Honourable House, Madam Speaker, must debate all the details about the Fiji Sugar Corporation. Its performance over the last several years. We need to look at the annual reports of 2012, 13 and 14. We need to have a very clear view about where that organization is. We all want sugar industry to survive, Madam Speaker. We all know that 200,000 people in this country depend on the industry. That's a fact. We all know that. But what we want, Madam Speaker, before we agree to this guarantee, is a detailed analysis of the management of the Fiji Sugar Corporation, the finances of the corporation, the details of what they have done over the last 2 or 3 years in terms of the annual reports. And that information, Madam Speaker, should be provided to Parliament. Should be provided to Parliament. Because then only, as a Parliament, we will be responding to the wishes of the people of this country for good scrutiny of what we do here, Madam Speaker. And I would urge the Honourable Finance Minister to think about this, to bring those information. We all want to support the sugar industry. We all want to support FSC as an efficient organization. But if we have an organization which has not been able to find a full-time CEO over so many years, and we are coming here to agree to further guarantee, and if this management cannot produce annual reports on time, Madam Speaker, then they shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there. And this is why, Madam Speaker, it is very, very important for this Parliament to have a much more robust, detailed debate on the basis of the information that should be provided to us. And Madam Speaker, let me conclude by also saying this, that it's a pity that the government doesn't see fit to have a joint parliamentary committee on sugar. This is the most important industry in the country right now, Madam, on the verge of collapse, Madam Speaker. And we want to support this industry. We want to develop a bipartisan approach to solving this industry's problems. We want to get the farmers to get the confidence. You have no idea about bipartisan, honourable member. Madam Speaker, honourable member probably forgot the NFP tutelage, that he received over so many years, about bipartisanship. Let me tell the government side, Madam Speaker. Let me tell the government side that the people of this country want a standing committee on sugar, Madam Speaker. When we suggested that, when the government rejected that, Madam Speaker, we got a lot of feedback. There's overwhelming view among the farmers that we need a bipartisan approach to resolve this. That's Fiji best feedback. Thank you, Madam Speaker. That is the most important issue in this debate. We have no issues about government guaranteeing organizations like FSC. But before we do that, Madam Speaker, we need some serious debate. We need some serious information. I mean, government should not hide this information. I mean, they should. I mean, we haven't had the annual reports. Come on, we haven't had the annual reports for 3 years. We haven't had the annual reports. And it's only when we raise this, Madam Speaker, in this Parliament that the Prime Minister then comes out and says, okay, we will have the annual general meeting and we will have the annual report.
Honourable Member, Prime Minister is not here to defend himself. Please refrain from involving him in the debate.
Madam Speaker.
Sorry.
Madam Speaker.
Point of order.
Order. I need to correct the Honourable Member. I need to correct the Honourable Member for the record. Because his question on that was, is it correct that the AGM as announced by the Executive Chair of FSC in FBC will be held or not? That was your question. And he said, you've just said that the Honourable Prime Minister said, only after you asked that question did he go running for the AGM. That's not correct, Madam Speaker. That is not correct, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Member is misrepresenting the facts.
You still have a few minutes, Honourable Member.
Madam Speaker, if I can correct that, the Prime Minister did talk about the annual report in reference to what we said in our earlier discussion in this Parliament. So the issue of annual report remains, Madam Speaker, as an important consideration as we discuss this issue now. Madam Speaker, once again, let me say this to the government, that we need a bipartisan approach in resolving the problems of this industry. It's an important industry. We will have serious issues after 2017, and if we don't take a bipartisan approach, this is one thing on which they can have a bipartisan approach, Madam Speaker. And if it is beyond some of the government members, then help the sugar industry, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, honourable member. Therefore, I will...
Speaker,
The honourable...
if I can contribute as well.
Yes, sir.
It's good to have bipartisan agreements, but tough decisions have to be made at some stage as well. Let's look at the history of the sugar industry in Fiji. Heavily politicized. It's important to Fiji. 250,000 families are dependent on the sugar industry. It's significant contribution to our GDP. Those tough decisions have to be made at some stage so that we salvage. It's not on the verge of collapse. It was collapsing. The Bainimarama government came up with solutions to salvage the sugar industry. That needs to be clarified. Farmers are important. Madam Speaker, government has done a lot for our farmers. Again, I keep saying, farmers have to take responsibility and ownership as well. We can improve farmers' income, Madam Speaker. We have to go economy of scale, better husbandry practices. This is a sugarcane farmer giving you information, Madam Speaker. I know the assistance that's going into the sugar industry. Fertilizer has been subsidized all these years. New initiatives, this has never been done before. We have the fair trade agreement in place, and farmers have been given extra income. Lambasa alone, $4 million. And that is not controlled by FSC, it's under the farmers that organize themselves.
No credit to the government.
We facilitated it.
That, Madam Speaker,
We facilitated.
tells us that a lot has been given to our farmers in terms of assistance that they need. The revival of the extension services within FSC, they are important in the value chain. We need the extension services. Extension services have been revived. And hopefully, with this, there will be an increased, significant increase in cane production level. We have brought in an expert from Mauritius. Nurseries have been in place, Madam Speaker, in all the sugarcane belt areas. We have an expert from Mauritius working with our farmers to assist them in producing good cane qualities and, of course, good husbandry practices as well. Madam Speaker, the FSC is so important to all of us, because without the market, the farmers will suffer. Farmers are important, but FSC as an entity has to survive. The Executive Chairman, Madam Speaker, the reports, as assured by the Prime Minister, will be tabled, and that is when the Executive Chairman and the Board can come under the scrutinization of all stakeholders. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Is there a point of order? No point of order. Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Noikula.
Madam Speaker, thank you for the time. I've heard the explanation given by the Attorney-General. These are reasons. There are no justifications for the House to give this guarantee. Because if you give this guarantee, it will be like flogging a dead horse. This industry has been dead for a long time. Imagine, no CEO, No annual report. The most basic thing that will tell you whether a company is alive or dead. It has been dead for 8 years. Well, breathing, but it's dead. If you don't have an annual report, you're dead. Why come here and ask for a guarantee when you can't even produce your annual report? How is this house to be guided by your performance? You have nothing to show. Nothing to show. Nothing. 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 You can't appoint as a CEO. That's very, very basic. So you're dead industry. And you're coming here to ask for a guarantee. What? To guarantee your non-performance. You have not performed. Period. No annual report, no CEO. That's not the other thing. And if you want the house to say yes, you must provide justification. How? 8 years of improvement, where are the improvements? Extension of GDP has been there. Will the GDP be improved? There's been no improvement in production. There's been no extension. You go to an LTB and they'll say, this one is finished, this one is finished, this one is finished. How will this guarantee translate to your improvement? When you cannot even show us in the last 8 years that you have improved. So the fundamental thing is that here you have a company, and this is simply to try to push up at that company, which doesn't have a positive effect to the individuals, the farmers. That's where you should come here to tell us how many are employed. By this guarantee, that will translate to how many more that are employed. By giving us this guarantee, we are at this level of production. By us giving this guarantee, this is what production we will have in the next years. That is far more important. So what do you have to show to this house? You have nothing. Nothing. No CEO. That has to be tomorrow. I would like to see that in the papers. There is no CEO for so many years. No annual report. So how do you judge your performance?
Madam Speaker, point of order. The Honorable Prime Minister has assured this House on the presentation of the reports and the AGM. And these honourable members are keep on saying, where is the report? Where is I want the ruling on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Order. Order. There has been ongoing repetition. Excuse me. Order. There has been an ongoing repetition of the same issues over and over again. It looks as if we have finished with any more substantive issues to be raised. I thank you for your presentation. I will now give the floor to the Honourable William Awoko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Like the Honourable Minister of Agriculture, I was also a cane farmer. And I intend to get back into it, Madam Speaker. Just, Madam Speaker, I love to hear the word salvage FSC.
8 years.
Yeah, it started in 2007. It'll be soon be 2016. So how long will the salvaging take, Madam Speaker?
Excuse me, order. The Honourable Nawekula, what word did you use just now?
8 years.
Oh, sorry. I thought.
Madam Speaker, that's the time they've been in government.
Thank you.
And they're talking salvage, nothing.
Thank you. You may continue, Honourable Awoko.
But, Madam Speaker, more importantly, Madam Speaker, as outlined by my colleague, the leader of the NFP, we need to produce cane. It's very simple, economics. You gotta produce to make it. The naked eye, Madam Speaker, if you drive through the Western Division, it will tell you there's very little cane. A lot of land that used to grow cane are lying fallow. Nothing grows on them. What I would like to see, Madam Speaker, the bipartisan approach that the Honourable Biman Prasad has been suggesting, it has to be taken seriously. The farmer must sit with the landowner and agree on the terms and conditions to farm the land. It must take on a sense of urgency similar to ALTA, what our parents did back in the 60s, I believe. 67. ALTA, Madam Speaker, changed the entire landscape of cane growing in the Western Division. We were part of it. What we saw the growth of Singapore town, Nandi, Mba, Tavua, just because of legislation that made it possible. And today, Madam Speaker, I don't see governments applying itself in bringing the farmer and the landowner together to get a similar program in place. If anything, please, let's take this bipartisan approach seriously. We can do it. There's goodwill in this country. There's now parliamentary democracy. Let's get a committee together, parliamentary bipartisan approach. Get the farmers, get the landowners together, and get growing. Get the sugar to start growing again, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on the subject of guarantees, Madam Speaker, are contingencies. We need to be very, very careful, because in financial statements they can be known as off the balance sheet item. And in many countries they have been caught with their contingencies because they did not, they gave too much of it and they forgot about it until they got caught. Contingencies need to be need to be seen, need to be treated very, very seriously, Madam Speaker. We just guaranteed FDB, we're going to guarantee FSC. What else is there? We need to one day, Madam Speaker, be told of exactly the contingencies that is out there that may come and haunt us in the future, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Amen.
Thank you. I give the floor to the Honourable Ashil Sudhakar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, unlike my honourable friend, Honourable Gavoka, who was a cane farmer, I am a current cane farmer, for the information of the House. Just like my honourable friend, Mr. V.M. Pillai here. And then before coming to the Parliament on Sunday, I was actually on my cane farm planting. I was planting cane. No, Madam, I planted on Sunday. Madam Speaker, we have had in this House just now about some mention of flogging of a dead horse. Let me ask the honourable members, who is responsible for this dying horse? Who was in power? Who was in power from 2001 to 2006, when majority of the cane leases in this country was expiring? Number of people living in the slum areas here, from Lambasa, from Bula Bula in Ba, from Luvu settlement, from Lotoka, from Singatoka. What are they doing in the slum area? Because the cane leases were not renewed. They had expired. And only until Honorable Bainimarama came to power, then the leases were renewed. 75% of the leases, cane leases, Madam Speaker, were renewed under the Bainimarama government, the Fiji Affairs government. And that is the reason why, the cane industry is on the verge of recovery. It is recovering. The sugar cane industry, for the first time, is in very good hands. It is in the hands of, yes, it is recovering. It is recovering.
Order.
This house already heard that it used to be 13 tons of cane for 1 ton of sugar. It's now about 7 or 8 tons. It is a sign of improvement. The horse is not dead yet. That horse is not dead yet. We will save that horse. Bainimarama government and Fiji Affairs government will save that horse. Now, this government, Madam Speaker, is very serious. This government is very serious about the sugar industry. There's about 18 to 20,000 farmers directly related to the sugar industry. There's about 200,000 people of this country who are indirectly or directly linked to the sugar industry. If this horse is not saved, as you are saying, what will happen to the 200,000 people? This is the only government that has renewed the leases. That's the first part. This government has improved the railway system. There's the delivery part, in case you guys don't know. In the sugar industry, you must plant, you must deliver to the mill, and the third part is you must mill the cane to produce sugar. If this government doesn't guarantee the loan, if FSC does not produce sugar, all we'll have is cane juice, which will be mixed with our tea. What will we do with the cane juice? Yes. The issue here is, you must understand.
Order. Point of order.
Point of order. Point of order. Madam Speaker, the honourable member is just wasting our time. It's just a repetitive of trying to convince us to vote yes. Trying to convince us. But what we are requiring is the documents, the books. Madam Speaker, my point of order, Madam Speaker. I'm on foot, Madam Speaker. It's my point of order. Madam, we need a ruling from you, madam. We need a ruling from you. You know, what the leader of the House has mentioned, that they needed to make tough decisions. That was done during the unelected period. Now we have a parliament, we have a democracy.
Point of order.
We work on a by petition.
Order. Order.
We need a ruling on you, madam. So remove the idea
What is the point of order?
I need a ruling from you, Madam Speaker, that there's insufficient information with us, and if that information we can put a committee together, like a by-petition committee, then we'll look into it. I need a ruling on that. That's the point of order. I need a ruling.
Order. The Honourable Sudhakar, we've got a lot of information coming. My ruling is, please continue.
Madam Speaker, I was in the middle of my presentation when I was accused of wasting time. Let me ask the Honourable Member through you, how many plants of cane has he planted in his life?
Okay.
Yes. I plant cane in 9 acres of land. And it was only, and the lease was only renewed, Madam Speaker, the lease was on the verge of expiry. It was only renewed when that great man came in power. Had he hadn't been there, I would have probably been living in the slums of Valelevu somewhere, Luvu. Now, let me continue. I stopped wasting time, Honorable Gulutavu. If you listen, you learn something. Now, the milling part, the government is guaranteeing this loan, this finance to FSC, to enable FSC to improve its mill, to improve its functions, so that they can mill the cane we produce. I'm talking to the Speaker. Through her, I'm looking this side because Karavaki is moving that way. Now what I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is that we have heard from both sides of the House. Now the opposition is telling us that they do not want this loan to be guaranteed. We will see that from the votes. Now the government side is adamant.
This representing Parliament. The opposition is not trying to derail that guarantee. What we're raising here is some valid points for the government of the day to take cognizance of the fact that the horse, unlike my friend who's standing on his feet, is on its back.
Thank you. Please focus on the issue at hand.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Now, because of the interjections, I am not derailed, but because of the interjections, let me rephrase. What I'm saying is that we have heard in this House this morning that the government is adamant that FSC's loan should be guaranteed, and the opposition is asking for facts or asking for some information which is supposedly going to help them. But the information is here. We are giving the information. If they listen to us properly, what the Attorney General and the leader of government have said so far, and also what this cane farmer is currently telling you.
Please give us the information.
Yes. The information is this, that FSC, the company, needs this finance to allow it to improve its facilities to mill the cane. Production has gone down because of non-renewal of leases. There are not farmers anymore in Lambasa and Ba. The TSTS,
Honourable Member, do not
TCTS,
respond to interjections. Just focus on the issue at hand.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me continue. Now, I'll conclude now on this information which they needed, that if the mill is not given the finances they need, if the mill is not allowed to mill, then what are we going to do with this cane that we produce? We cannot load the cane on ships and send to Singapore for milling. We need the mills. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I am in support of the government proposition that this finance for FSC should be supported, and the mills should be allocated that support of this Parliament to allow it to mill properly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I now give the floor to the Honourable Tipo Randalu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just continuing on this request for more information to justify us writing off this signing off to this guarantee, I was very pleased to hear the Minister say Mauritius, and that the expert in this field is going to come from Mauritius. And the reason why Mauritius has the economy that it has, and they developed their sugar industry about 10 years ago, and the expert sits next to me, the professor of economics next to me. But the foundation of all of their economic success, Madam Speaker, has been good governance and political stability. They are a country without a military, and they have no coups. And Madam Speaker, in spite of these allegations that the leases were not renewed, and the period that the so-called leases were not renewed, yield was more than double, I think, of production. And it halved between 2006 and 2014. Sugar gets a lot of members of the National Federation Party very excited, and I've been getting text messages while this debate has ensued from members of the public. And one was that I inform you, Madam Speaker, that the Honorable Sudaka's contribution on this, the horse is not alive, and it's not about flogging a dead horse. In the last 8 years, they've put the horse into a coma.
Please continue.
And on this issue, Madam Speaker, of good governance as the foundation for justification, Madam Speaker, of approving this guarantee, I only need to remind the House, I don't have to go deeper into it, everybody knows, that the government that was in power for the last 8 years turned down 300 million from the EU in 2009. And that was turned down 300 million that could have gone to really help the farmers and the industry at a critical time. It wouldn't have gone into a coma had we gone into that. And Madam Speaker, on the last point about good governance and the topic that's before us and justification of guaranteeing this loan, because we don't want to be questioned later, why did you agree to it when you didn't have these fundamentals in place? There is the issue that this loan to FSC is from the ANZ Bank, whose CEO has just been given the biggest political appointment in this country, and that's to be the chair, I believe, of the Public Service Commission Board. I believe there would be conflict of issues there, and this would, Madam Speaker, it's issues that we raise for the benefit of the government. They have the power, and this is what the Parliament of this country is being asked to sign off to when these sticking issues are around for all to see, and we don't want to resolve it. And again, Madam Speaker, it's an issue of where Umbi and getting straight to approval without proper information.
Thank you. I think we've had enough debate on this matter. Point of order?
Contribution on this, on the motion. Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me time. I'll just confine it to the issue on the motion, and which is, I believe, as rightly pointed out by the acting Prime Minister, that there is an existing guarantee, and this Parliament needs to endorse that the guarantee continues, because otherwise its life will end, and thereby putting FSC into a cash flow problem. I think that's the issue here. And FSC for the last 10 years is riddled with cash flow problems. And let me say to this House, and particularly to my friends, that the government has come in to help FSC on many occasions by injecting cash grants. And had that not happened with previous governments, sugar industry indeed would have been staring death. And I believe in the last couple of years the government has injected something like $220 million on FSC alone. And Madam Speaker, on the issue of guarantee, extending this guarantee, there's some issues been raised in this House, and let me just put it into perspective. One is the expiry of land leases. Land leases started expiring in 1997. And in 1997, we had 49 leases which expired. and it was then the Rabuka government which automatically renewed with NLTV all 49. That was the courage of the government then. Because leases continue to expire. As we speak here, there are leases expiring out there and they're not being renewed. These are impediments, madam. And on politics in sugar industry, let me remind the government that in 2006, when they dismantled the sugar industry, the Sugarcane Growers Council, because of politics in the industry, that's what they claimed. What did we have? We had the industry producing 3.2 million tons of cane. And when supposedly they're taking out politics, in 2013, it came down to 1.5 million. Last year we had 1.8 million. So which was better? Having politics in there or not? You know, if you go by the commercialization of some rationale into arguing that point. So these are the facts, madam. We cannot derail a process on its merits and demerits alone. There are many factors which affect this. Now, on the question of, when we talk about sugar industry, not only the government side, many people out there, they feel that FSC is the industry alone. They forget that they are stakeholders. And the stakeholders are, the biggest stakeholders are farmers, who, on a sharing formula, receive 70% of the cane proceeds, and the FSC receives 30%. Now, the question that posed now, if this guarantee, as in its own form, if it's extended, then the question arises, Madam Speaker, what is the exposure? What is the exposure of this guarantee? How much of this has already been provisioned? And how much of it is already classed as impaired? And these are some pertinent questions that we put to the government. Because we just cannot guarantee something, as alluded to earlier by our colleagues, which is not producing the desired results. So, what I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is that we do not oppose this guarantee. What we are saying is, with this guarantee, it's an extension of guarantee. The guarantee is already there, it's an extension because its life is expiring. What we're saying, Madam Speaker, is that there are certain things attached to these guarantees. Government, instead of bailing out FSC all the time, as we know, government was, the FSC was insolvent. This is why it was kicked out of the stock exchange. And remains out of it till today. And for all the good reasons, the government came on board, salvaged it by injecting cash. How long are we going to do that? When will FSC stand on its feet? And then the members who spoke, they provided government with some answers, how we can go about it. A bipartisan approach, having an independent chief executive, an independent board. So these are some of the things, the framework that needs to be addressed before FSC will come online as a commercial entity. Madam Speaker, I totally agree with the acting Prime Minister when he said that we need to diversify. And to this effect, the only tangible thing I can see happening is there is a line of credit provided by the government of India to the tune of $70 million for the cogeneration project, which will be based at the bar mill, Raraoi mill. And, Madam Speaker, a cogeneration project is a new type of diversification that we're venturing into. It's uncharted waters for us at this point in time. And there has been no consultation on this in the industry. So what we're saying is, if you want to get the industry back on its feet, there needs to be more consultations. The biggest stakeholders, the farmers, need to be consulted. I know it's a commercial decision. FSC is a commercial entity. But the money will be provided by the industry itself. whether it's sustainable or not. We don't want to have another white elephant out there in Rarawai Mill, just as we had this Tampa and other things with the Sugar Commission. Madam Speaker, and the other question is, when we pose the question to the Prime Minister, how much of 350 million will be to salvage or revive the sugar industry? Is it part of the revival process? And the guarantee that we are trying to extend today, it is all about financing FSC, its cash flow. And we have two payments to be made to the farmers. And as alluded to earlier by my colleague, that sugar forecast price has been dismal, to say the least, because it's come down to $73. And with these background figures in mind, the very function, the core function of FSC has been to produce raw sugar. And this diversification we're talking about, is it going to take us to the next level? And how it's going to be? Because it's all about money. Are we going to continue guaranteeing these establishments? So these are some of the issues that come to mind. But sugar industry as it is, it caters for something like 200,000 people directly or indirectly, which depend on it, and the survival of these people. Madam Speaker, sugar industry is not what it used to be 20 years ago. The very structure of sugar industry is such, it's dependent on weather, it's dependent on a lot of factors. And the factors of production include labors, availability of land, and the macroeconomics that are attached with it. And if we are going to continue micromanaging the affairs of FSC with these guarantees, then when will FSC stand on its own feet? So, Madam Speaker, the extension of this guarantee is needed. But with this, we need to really look at the whole industry in a holistic way. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I will now invite the Honourable Acting Prime Minister for his written reply.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank Honourable Prem Singh for actually acknowledging that this guarantee is needed. It is needed, Madam Speaker. Just very, very quickly, there's obviously a number of points have been raised, some of them salient, many of them insalient. But, Madam Speaker, when we talk about yields, we also need to talk about TCTS, as you know. TCTS, total cane to total sugar. In 2010, it requires 13.5 million tons of sugar to make 13.5 million tons of cane to make 1 ton of sugar. In 2014, you now require only 8.1 million tons of cane to make 1 ton of sugar. Obviously the yield has gone up. Yes, the production input has decreased. In the discussions, and as other people commenting, I had pointed to Honourable Nico Nawaikula about which he laughed at and hid behind Honourable Lalambalavu, Madam Speaker, because it was during his term also at TLTB when substantial sections or substantial parts of leases that were expiring. I'm not saying he was solely responsible for it. It was not a long time ago, in the 90s, Madam Speaker, when vast tracts of land leases that were expiring, sugarcane leases, were not renewed. And it was at that point in time a matter of policy where a lot of them, in fact, they went out specifically not to renew it because it was seen as a political issue. It was seen as a political issue. It was turned into an ethnic issue. That's what we are getting away from, Madam Speaker. Under the Bainimarama government, we started this committee called CIBUL, Committee for Better Utilization of Land, in which we encouraged landowners to renew expiring land leases. And in fact, the government till today subsidizes those renewals by paying to landowners without any pounders being taken off by TLTB an additional 4%. So in other words, they're getting 10% for renewal of leases. And from different years, the success rate has varied from 70 to the 80 percentiles. That's what has been done for the farmers. Subsidy for fertilizers has continued for sugarcane farmers. In fact, we have now extended to dalo farmers, ginger farmers, and a couple of the other rice farmers. That's what we've done. So, what has the farmers also received? They've received allocation of funds in the budgetary support, direct budgetary support for planting more land, to assist them to plant more land for sugarcane farms. So obviously, Madam Speaker, there are various areas that do need to be improved. No problem with that suggestion. And in fact, there is a recognition of the suggestion by having this guarantee needed to provide those improvements. The TCTS has improved. We are now fixing up the railway system. There was in fact a Deloitte's report done, an independent study done by a third party to point out many of the issues that were wrong with the sugarcane industry per se. And Madam Speaker, that was in fact put in place. Madam Speaker, when they talk about Fiji Sugar Corporation, they forget to tell you that there are other shareholders in Fiji Sugar Corporation. It was listed. It was listed on the stock exchange. One can question whether they should. A substantial minority, Madam Speaker. Government had about in the high 60s. FNPF, Fijian Holdings, YP Reddy. These are the 3-4 key shareholders in Fiji Sugar Corporation. Did any of them put any money into Fiji Sugar Corporation by direct budgetary support? Nobody did, except the Fijian government. In one particular year, there's a funding of $125 million. If FSC was not financially sound, if there was negligence in terms of financial management, would a reputable international banking organization offer this particular facility? No. These banks are one of the most conservative of institutions, and they have then gone into this area because of the changes that have taken place in FSC, Madam Speaker. Institutions, Madam Speaker, don't simply give a loan just because there's a government guarantee. They don't like to call upon guarantees. They actually, Madam Speaker, see the viability of the actual organization itself. Numerous other amenities have been given to farmers, for example, tractors, provision of tractors, etc. Madam Speaker, we've gone down the path about the annual accounts. They'll be presented in the AGM. That's going to be held very soon. This question has already been answered on the floor. Madam Speaker, the issue here is such. The issue is this. There is obviously an enormous amount of anomaly in the way the sugarcane industry was run in Fiji. The issue is not Madam Speaker, there were mills that were being operated in Fiji. If you walked into those mills, you would think they would be coming into Charles Dickens' novel of industrialized Europe or England in the 1800s. The conditions in which the workers worked in those mills were atrocious. The higher rates of accidents. Now those mills have been upgraded. There's a huge the question mark over the STM renewal that was done through the Indian funded STM. Now, in some of the instances, a lot of the upgrades that were put in place, in fact, weren't needed. A lot of the upgrades that were put in place, in fact, were dodgy. They've had to go through a period of fixing it up. Of course, FSC is important. You need a mill to crush the sugarcane, to make sugar. You need that. So obviously you need to improve the efficiency within the mill itself. And that is being done, the upgrade is being done. This guarantee does also allow for early cane payments to farmers in the event that the funds do not come. Before we essentially had to wait for the funds to come. Now with this facility, farmers can be paid earlier. Now with this facility, any upgrades that's needed to the mills, any emergency funds that's needed, there's breakages, etc., they don't have to come running to government with a cap in their hand and say, please give us some money. Because YP Reddy, Fijian Holdings, FNPF won't give them the money. So, with these funds are readily available, Madam Speaker, and as I've said, that it leads to efficiency. We cannot be sitting here, Madam Speaker, and saying, give us this report, give us that report. The annual reports will come along, only then we'll approve the guarantee. Because the livelihood is very, very important. Those reports will come, Madam Speaker. The AGM will be held, Madam Speaker, and those annual reports will be tabled. I can point out many instances of many statutory bodies in previous governments where the annual reports were 5, 6, 7 years delayed. That, Madam Speaker, is a reality. So, Madam Speaker, also, as far as FSC is concerned, it is dealing with legacy issues. The share price of FSC had fallen below 0 cents. It is now above that. And I do not have the specific figures, but I understand it's close to 10 cents a share. So, Madam Speaker, I can provide that information later to the House. I would urge, Madam Speaker, that this House approve this guarantee, Madam Speaker, because these funds are critical for FSC to access, which is government guaranteed, to be able to ensure that the legacy issues are addressed, that there's continuation of the upgrades in the mills, that the farmers will be catered for, in conjunction with all the other facilities that have been provided for farmers, and we bring about that confidence. And we bring about the change that is required. As Minister of Agriculture did point out, with diversification, we now have, for example, 2 milk chillers in the Western Division, By and Latoka. These cane farmers are also now producing milk through the cows that they have. They collect about 4,000 litres of milk a week, supplementing the income, Madam Speaker. This is what Fiji requires. We need to diversify. We can't just simply rely on sugarcane or just one crop dalo or ginger. We need to diversify. But in order to assist, Madam Speaker, sugarcane, which is a higher level of engagement of the Fijian people, we need to ensure that it continues to get this facility. It's able to meet the challenges that will be faced, Madam Speaker, with the quota system, the preferred pricing that will be taken away, for us to be able to stand on our feet and diversify. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. That marks the end of the debate. And the Parliament will now vote on the motion. Does any member oppose the Honourable Attorney-General's motion? No? Does any member oppose? Point of order.
Now that Madam Speaker, point of order, that all the information has been on the floor. The information now, Madam Speaker, will you be able to make a ruling whether it's sufficient for us to take a vote? I need a ruling.
Thank you. My ruling is that Parliament will now vote. Open the vote. Close the vote. Secretary General.
Result of the vote as follows: 27 ayes, 10 noes, and 12 have not voted.
Thank you. The result is 27 ayes and 10 noes, 12 not voted. The motion is unanimously agreed to.